Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to like and subscribe so all your wishes come true. Maybe. Today we're building the best friend a street rat could ever have, the Genie from Aladdin. Obviously this build will supply you with phenomenal cosmic power, as long as you're comfortable downsizing your living space. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First and foremost, we need to grant wishes. That's sort of a long-term goal, but we'll get some magic to fill in some of the lighter wishes early. Second, we'll make sure that we can change our shape to blend into the crowd or entertain our friends. Finally, we'll make sure that we can sing, and when we do, everyone wants to sing along. For stats, we're using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll if you want, genies are pretty chaotic. Charisma will be our top stat. Every character the great Robin Williams has played deserves comically high charisma. Intelligence after that, he's been around for thousands of years. History could be called memory. Dexterity next, he's limber and bendy, basically made out of air. Constitution will follow, genie's pretty much immortal. Wisdom is a little on the lower end. With great power comes no reason for an insight check. Finally, we'll dump strength. You've got magic to lift things and your armor isn't really in the heavy category. Now, genies aren't an official race in D&D, but genasi are. Genasi are the descendants of genies and other elementals. We'll make the genie an air genasi. They get +2 constitution and +1 dexterity. You have unending breath, meaning you don't need to breathe while you're awake, and you can mingle with the wind, letting you cast levitate once per long rest. This lets you raise a person or an object 20 feet and then move that floaty thing 30 feet in any direction as a bonus action on following turns. If the creature doesn't want to float, they can make a constitution save of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and your constitution modifier. Yeah, genasi cast spells with constitution. It's wild. For your background, there isn't really one for Immortal Wish Granter, but Entertainer is fun, and you get acrobatics and performance proficiency, both of which Genie excels at. We'll kick things off as a sorcerer, letting you grab 2 skills from their list, take Arcana and Persuasion. And grab 4 cantrips. Mage Hand creates a floating spectral hand that can carry 5 pounds or activate non-magical items. Dancing Lights creates 4 torch-sized lights that you can move 60 feet with a bonus action for up to a minute, depending on your concentration. Prestidigitation creates a small sensory effect, lets you create a small handheld object, clean something up, or make it dirty. It's a bunch of small flavor things. Check it out in the player's handbook. Minor Illusion creates a sound or an image that fits into a 5-foot cube. It fails to hold up to inspection, but can really add to a song and dance number. For your first level spell, Disguise Self lets you change your appearance. You can be a foot shorter or taller, and anything extra you create fails to hold up to physical inspection or an investigation check against your sorcerer spell save, which is 8 plus your proficiency and your charisma modifier. Comprehend Languages lets you understand any language, spoken or written, for an hour. So no matter who rubs the lamp, you can communicate with them. For your sorcerer's origin, Wild Magic feels the most in character for your crazy antics. You get Wild Magic Surge, which lets the DM force you to roll a d20 after casting a spell of the first level or higher. If you roll a 1, an effect happens from the Wild Magic table on page 104 of the player's handbook. I'm not going to go through all of these, there are over 40 effects, but they're not necessarily bad, just chaotic. There's also Tides of Chaos, which lets you give yourself advantage on an attack roll, saving throw, or skill check once per long rest. This can be reset by the DM whenever you cast a spell above the first level by forcing you to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. Second level sorcerers get a Font of Magic full of sorcery points, which you can use at this level to recover spell slots. You'll get more options at the 3rd level. You can also grab another spell. Mage Armor will kind of cover your intangibility, making your AC 13 plus your dexterity mod while you're not wearing armor for up to 8 hours. 3rd level sorcerers get Meta Magic, letting you add extra effects to spells using sorcery points. Subtle Spell lets you cast a spell without verbal or somatic components. An Extended Spell doubles the spell's duration. For your spell at this level, grab Misty Step. It lets you teleport 30 feet as a bonus action. It's pretty hard to pin Genie down. 4th level sorcerers get an ability score improvement, and we'll take that for extra charisma. We need this as high as possible, as quickly as possible. You can also grab another spell. Mirror Image creates 3 illusory duplicates of yourself with an AC equal to 10 plus your dexterity modifier. When someone tries to hit you, roll a d20. While you have 3 duplicates, a 6 or higher means they hit a duplicate, 8 or higher when you have 2, and 11 or higher when you have 1. The combat implications of this are obvious, but they can also be used as backup dancers. Probably. You can also grab another cantrip, and Firebolt is a ranged spell attack dealing 1d10 fire damage. It also lights flammable objects, which is fun. 5th level sorcerers can cast 3rd level spells. Fly gives the target of your choice a flying speed of 60 feet per round, no magic carpet required. This lasts for up to 10 minutes, but depends on your concentration, so hopefully nothing tries to hit you while your best friend is 200 feet high. 6th level wild sorcerers can bend luck, letting you spend 2 sorcery points to add or subtract a d4 from a creature's attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. This can be after the roll, but before the DM announces any effect, so manipulate reality when you need to. For your spell at this level, Major Image lets you create an advanced illusion that fits into a 20-foot cube. It can smell accurate, sound accurate, and vary in temperature, though not enough to cause damage. This can be seen through with an investigation check against your spell save. 7th level sorcerers can learn 4th level spells. Polymorph lets you transform a creature into a beast of equal challenge rating for up to a minute depending on your concentration. So if you want to turn a party member into 4th level or higher into an elephant, that's an option. If they don't want to be an elephant, I don't know why they wouldn't, they can make a wisdom save to resist. 8th level sorcerers get another ability score improvement, and capped charisma is so close, but it's still 4 levels away. Unless you rolled really well, in which case good for you. For your spell at this level, grab Dimension Door, which lets you teleport up to 500 feet away as an action, and you can bring a buddy with you. 9th level sorcerers can learn 5th level spells. Animate Objects lets you animate up to 10 objects depending on their size. Medium objects count as 2, which is what I would consider the magic carpet, by the way. Large objects count as 4, and huge objects count as 8. You can use your bonus action to command an object, otherwise they just try to defend themselves. The stats for each of these are attached to the spell in the player's handbook. Look it up there, I don't really have time to get into all of it. 10th level sorcerers can learn another meta magic option. Quicken Spell lets you cast a spell that would normally take an action as a bonus action. For your spell, Creation lets you create an object that fits into a 5-foot cube. The rarity of the material determines how long that object exists. If it's made of vegetable matter, it lasts for a whole day. If it's made of stone, it lasts for 12 hours. Precious metals last for an hour. Gems last for 10 minutes. And adamantine or mithril last for 1 minute. Get creative here, you can kind of do what you want. You can also learn another cantrip. Ray of Frost is a ranged spell attack that deals 2d8 cold damage and reduces the target's movement speed by 10 feet. 11th level sorcerers can learn 6th level spells. Mass Suggestion lets you suggest a course of action for up to 12 creatures that fail a wisdom save. They continue trying to complete this action for up to 24 hours unless you or your allies attack them. Use this to get the whole crowd involved in a musical number, celebrating your party's rogue. 12th level sorcerers get an ability score improvement, cap your charisma, then move on to dexterity. We can't get him permanently incorporeal, but we can make sure he's limber. 13th level sorcerers can learn 7th level spells, but we're actually going to jump back to the 2nd level for the Alter Self spell. This lets you choose one of 3 options. Aquatic Adaptation lets you breathe underwater and gives you a swimming speed equal to your normal speed. Change Appearance is like Disguise Self, but it's not illusory. Natural Weapons lets you change your hands into claws, spines, or fangs, or something dangerous, making your unarmed attacks deal 1d6 bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, your choice, and you have +1 to the attack and damage rolls. It counts as a magical weapon. So silly putty yourself into whatever you want. 14th level Wild Magic sorcerers get Controlled Chaos, letting you roll twice when you roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, and choose the result. This helps you get something more useful to the situation than having to shout for the next minute. That's actually on there, it's funny. 15th level sorcerers can learn 8th level spells. Teleport lets you and up to 8 friendly creatures teleport somewhere you're aware of on the same plane of existence. The more familiar you are with the location, the more likely you are to land where you actually want to. If you're just guessing, there could be a bit of trouble. Check out the spell in the player's handbook to make sure that the risk is worth the reward. 16th level sorcerers get an ability score improvement, bump up your dexterity a little bit for some better acrobatics. 17th level sorcerers can learn 9th level spells. Wish lets you make or grant a wish. If you want to play it safe, this can replicate the effects of any spell of 8th level or lower. If you're willing to take a penalty, you can create an object worth up to 25,000 gold and up to 300 feet in any dimension. You can fully restore the HP of up to 20 creatures and remove any negative effects on them. Give 10 creatures resistance to a type of damage of your choice or immunity to a single spell or effect, or change a recent roll from the last round. You can also try wish for pretty much anything, but outside of those effects, the DM will probably try and manipulate and twist your wish into something that's not ideal, especially because you've been a wild magic sorcerer this whole time and that can annoy a DM. The penalty for using wish for anything other than a spell of 8th level or lower is a 33% chance you can't cast this spell again. 1 in 3, isn't that funny? And 1d10 necrotic damage every time you cast a spell until you take a long rest, and 2d4 days of your strength score being reduced to 3. Every long rest reduces that amount of time by 2 days. Do yourself a favor and really look over every other spell you can. These penalties can be rough. We're going to round this off with 3 levels of Bard. Multiclassing into Bard gives you another skill of your choice. Grab History. You've been in existence for a very long time. You also have Bardic Inspiration, which lets you give a friendly creature who can hear you an extra d6 that they can add to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw in the next minute. You can learn 2 cantrips from the Bard list. Vicious Mockery at this level deals 4d4 psychic damage to a creature that fails a wisdom save, and they have disadvantage on their next attack roll. Light creates a bright light for people without dark vision, like you. For your first level spells, Cure Wounds heals a creature 1d8 plus your charisma modifier that you touch. Healing Word heals a creature 1d4 plus your charisma modifier, as long as they can hear you and are within 60 60 feet of you. This is also a bonus action, so this is a good emergency healing spell. Speak with Animals lets you speak with animals for up to 10 minutes, and Featherfall prevents up to 5 friendly creatures from taking any fall damage. At second level Bard, you get Jack of all trades, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to any skill check you don't have proficiency with. Genie's just kinda good at everything. Song of Rest lets your allies recover an extra 1d6 hit points on a short rest. For your spell, Tasha's Hideous Laughter forces a wisdom save on an enemy, or they're incapacitated for up to a minute. It can re-roll the save on each of its turns. Our capstone is the third level of Bard, giving you expertise in 2 skills of your choice. I'd go for Performance and Persuasion. This doubles your proficiency bonus for these skills. You can also choose a Bardic College, and the College of Glamour gives you the Mantle of Inspiration, letting you use one of your uses of Bardic Inspiration to give up to 5 allies 5 temporary hit points, and allow them to use their reaction to move without taking opportunity attacks. You can also put on an Enthralling Performance. This lets you charm up to 5 creatures after 1 minute of performing once per long rest. These creatures will defend you for up to an hour and would presumably join you for another song. For your final spell, I don't think I'm going to be able to use Magic Mouth spell anywhere else, so here's what it does. You put a message of 25 words or less into an inanimate object that will grow a magical mouth and speak your message for you when something happens to activate it. You also get to decide what activates it. This lasts throughout eternity until something actually activates it, so just put something weird somewhere. It's a fun spell. Use it. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how good of a build this is. First, you've got a great list of support spells letting you creatively handle situations without violence. You also got a ton of spells and ways to recover spell slots for even more spells. Finally, Wish can do literally anything as long as you word it properly. There's also an issue though, it could backfire, leaving you hurting yourself while casting other spells. Speaking of hurting and spells, your spells don't do a lot of hurting, relying mostly on cantrips for damage. That's fine if the DM isn't into combat, but if there's a fighter in the party, they'll probably expect a fight. Finally, you've got a lot of concentration spells and can only cast 1 at a time, but this build is about mixing it up. Create some chaos, help your friends, and have a great time. Just remember, insane cosmic power can be a little unpredictable. Hopefully that works out well for you. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Make sure to come back next week to let out your inner animal and get hammered.